प्रेगनेंसी के पीरियड के अंदर क्या एक प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन को प्रिकॉशंस लेने चाहिए इन रिगार्ड ऑफ देयर डाइट?
Recommendations are at least 8 checkups are mandatory during the entire pregnancy.
मदर की हेल्थ और बच्चे की हेल्थ में क्या डिफरेंस रहता है अगर नॉर्मल डिलीवरी को देखा जाए और सिजेरियन डिलीवरी?
तो ब्रेस्ट मिल्क सिक्रीशन को सबसे पहले बढ़ाने का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो चीज़ है, इमीडिएटली आफ्टर बर्थ द बेबी शुड बी पुट ऑन द बॉडी ऑफ द मदर immediately after birth.
ओके.
Like for exclusive breastfeeding, which is giving your baby only breast milk, not even water, is recommended up to 6 months of age.
वैक्सीन को लेके बहुत कॉमन मिथ्स हैं कि वैक्सीन जो है उनसे ऑटोइम्यून डिसऑर्डर्स हो जाते हैं या फिर वैक्सीन के अंदर मर्क्यूरी और एल्यूमिनियम का कंटेंट बहुत होता है. ऐसे भी मीन्स हैं कि वैक्सीन जो है वो ग्लोबल डीपॉपुलेशन प्रोजेक्ट का हिस्सा है. बेबी के लिए स्किन केयर प्रोडक्ट्स और लोशंस आप कौन से रिकमेंड करते हैं?
कोई भी. So anything which has got fragrance in a product is a strict no-no for all infants, all babies, all children up to the age of 18 years.
Hello, today I have with me Dr. Shitanshi Sharma, who is a pediatrician, and we will discuss about the field of pediatrics. And our main focus will be infants and children up to the age of 6. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Nowadays we see that many young parents are very anxious about their kids. और उनको समझ नहीं आता है कि वो बहुत जल्दी फ्रीक आउट हो जाते हैं कि कैसे अपने बच्चे की टेक केयर करनी है, हाउ व्हाट काइंड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन शुड दे गिव देम. और उनको कोई भी छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है तो वो एंशियस हो जाते हैं इस चीज़ को लेकर. तो आज उसी चीज़ को लेके मैं आपसे क्वेश्चंस पूछना चाहता हूँ. एंड माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन विल बी दैट प्रेगनेंसी के पीरियड के अंदर क्या एक प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन को प्रिकॉशंस लेने चाहिए इन रिगार्ड ऑफ देयर डाइट?
So see, your baby's health completely depends on the antenatal period, which is the pregnancy, and that starts right from conception till the baby is born. It's divided into 3 trimesters, and each of the trimesters have a different role to play in the baby's health. Apart from the usual antenatal visits, the health visits which are required in the hospital, like we say, हर mother को कहा जाता है कि once you know that you are pregnant, you should register in a an institution जहाँ पे आपकी delivery होनी है, and you should go there for regular checkups. So recommendations are at least 8 checkups are mandatory during the entire pregnancy, which also includes at least 2 ultrasounds, one in the first trimester before 13 weeks, and the other is called a level 2 ultrasound, जो congenital anomalies अगर बच्चे में कोई है तो उसको assess करने के लिए कि है या नहीं है या क्या है, right? So the precautions as such for any woman would be the same as which she is usually doing in her regular life, because pregnancy is not like a disease. It's just that you are nourishing yourself and a human being. So you just have to take those extra calories. You have to have a balanced diet, and you have to maintain a healthy active lifestyle, unless and until of course you have a complication where you are advised bed rest. So balanced lifestyle के अलावा there is no such precaution which a pregnancy would require.
What kind of exercises, ma'am? More focused towards yoga or weightlifting?
I have had a range of women who I have met in my experience. So कोई होते थे जो बिल्कुल कुछ काम नहीं करते हैं, they are sedentary, so they are advised to have at least an half an hour walk. If not like a brisk walk, but at least a stroll to sort of have some movement. Additionally, yoga and deep breathing practices are very, very important because they help later on during labor when you have to sort of deliver the baby. There are some women who are into weights and gym and all these things. So yes, definitely they can continue. It's fine. I know women who've been swimming. I know women who've been lifting weights while pregnant. You must have seen in the Olympics also, right? So every human being has a different way. हर body अलग होती है. तो जो आप नॉर्मल करते आ रहे हो आप उसी को कंटिन्यू करो. वही मैं बोल रही हूँ, इट इज़ नॉट अ न्यू थिंग विच इज़ हैपनिंग टू द बॉडी. जो आप नॉर्मली करते आ रहे हो आप वो करो. एडिशनली क्योंकि आपको कैलोरीज ज़्यादा कर खानी है, क्योंकि आपके पास एक बेबी है जिसके हाथ बनने हैं, बोन्स बनने हैं, इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स बनने हैं. सो यू आर मेकिंग ऑल दोस थिंग्स. उसका ब्लड बनना है, यू आर मेकिंग ऑल दोस थिंग्स. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड दोज एक्स्ट्रा कैलोरीज. So for that, your diet is the most important thing, more than anything. And of course, activity जो आप normally करते आ रहे हो उसको continue करो.
एंड एट दैट टाइम मतलब डाइटिंग वगैरह नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Not at all.
Because calorie intake on an average for women is 1800 calories a day and 2100 for males.
Yes.
तो उस टाइम पे अराउंड कितनी कैलोरी
You
इंटेक
have to
रहना
have at least 600, 500 to 600 additional
Extra.
calories. But however, so there are certain guidelines which go by the body mass index of the body. So if your body mass index is less than 18.5, which is a normal cutoff, then you need additional calories because आप already malnourished हो. So all these additional calories, all these dietary requirements should be done under the supervision of a nutritionist, a dietitian or your doctor. You should not अपने आप से do all these things के नहीं, you know, this is healthy, so I'll just eat this. There are some women who will keep on eating fruits and not have carbs. So everything is important for the growing baby. Vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, fats, protein, सब चाहिए होता है.
Ma'am, what kind of food do you strictly tell to your patients to avoid? Like, I have heard that in pregnancy you should not eat papaya or Ajinomoto. So,
See, Ajinomoto तो nobody should eat any which ways, right?
Okay.
It's not good for health. तो वो तो it's totally like even non-pregnant people should not have it. बाकी रहा papaya, so yes, there are you know worldwide tale that raw पका हुआ papaya, you know, and कच्चा papaya does things. So I think these small things about papayas and other things, you can simply go with the flow which your family has. I mean, there is no harm in, you know, avoiding a particular fruit if the family feels so. I mean, you know, why unnecessarily create a problem? But yes, there are certain things, there are certain drugs which are carcinogenic, and there are certain medications which you shouldn't be taking. So as I said, there are multiple things which should not be taken. Most of the things normally भी कोई लेता नहीं है, you know. बट ये जो छोटी मोटी चीज़ें हैं कि फ्रूट हो गया, कोई पर्टिकुलर वेजिटेबल आपके घर में नहीं अलाउ करते हैं. सो ऑल दीज आर कल्चरल इशूज एंड आई थिंक दे डोंट रियली हैव, it won't have any implication on the baby even if you follow it. You know, like that. So कहीं में होता है कि नारियल खिलाओ तो बच्चा गोरा होता है. You know, in India everyone is
yes,
mesmerized by the गोरा color.
चेरी खिलाओ तो लाल
तो
होगा.
हाँ, so all these things they really don't really matter. And if your family says so खा लो, क्या होंगे, it's good only. I mean, coconut has a good you know good properties, so it's healthy in a way. So I don't think there are any food fads per se, they're all cultural. And other than that, of course, जो medications है, again, you have to take all the medications under the supervision of your doctor. If you are taking any health supplement, for example, अगर आप कोई प्रोटीन ले रहे हो, वे प्रोटीन ले रहे हो, you know, powdered protein ले रहे हो, so all those things usually उन सब पे लिखा होता है that they are not you know for
Meant for
pregnant
pregnant
or
women.
lactating women. So you need to kind of just follow those advisories. Usually there is no such thing which cannot be or can be eaten, but वही घर का खाना है, never make a difference. And Ajinomoto तो nobody should take.
अभी आपने you were talking about ultrasound earlier. So ultrasound आप क्या कह रहे थे कि 2 times pregnancy से पहले मतलब before conceiving the
Not conceiving, for delivery. So
Delivery.
once is a dating scan, which usually should do before 13 weeks to confirm the pregnancy. कि pregnant है भी कि नहीं, क्योंकि कभी कभी false हो जाता है, missed abortion हो जाता है, multiple things are there. या फिर मतलब there are multiple things. So that is one scan. Once the dating scan is done and you know that there is a fetus is there, then you do a scan around say 16 to 20, between 16 to 20 weeks, which is called a level 2 scan or an anomaly scan. So basically that is to see if the growing fetus has got any anomaly, कोई structural anomaly है, हाथ पैर ठीक से बन रहे हैं, heart ठीक से बन रहा है, body ठीक से बन रही है, things, head ठीक से बन रहा है, things like that. So these are the 2 mandatory scans, if I may say.
Okay.
Apart from that, your gynecologist or an obstetrician would tell you कि कब कराना है, if they need more. if they want more information, and accordingly they'll plan.
Okay. So, just after the birth of the baby, it's said that a woman's body is very fragile at that time. और हमारे यहाँ इंडिया के अंदर उस पीरियड में काफ़ी रिकमेंड भी करते हैं इवन इन समर्स कि आपको ढक के रहना चाहिए, आपको ज़्यादा ठंड में नहीं रहना चाहिए. तो व्हाट डू यू एज अ पीडियाट्रिशियन एडवाइस टू योर पेशेंट्स?
डिपेंड्स अब आपकी डिलीवरी हुई कैसे है. आपकी नॉर्मल डिलीवरी हुई है या आपका सिजेरियन सेक्शन. सबसे पहले तो वो चीज़ होती है विच अफेक्ट्स द हेल्थ ऑफ द वुमन. देन इफ देयर इज अ नॉर्मल डिलीवरी समटाइम्स यू नीड टू यूज इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. So there are all these things which are there. Depending on the health of the woman, these advices are given by multiple people. What is a recommendation, or if I may say a scientific recommendation, is that the mother and the baby should be kept together on the same bed. ठंडा गर्म नहीं पता, एम्बिएंट टेम्परेचर में होना चाहिए. इफ द मदर इज स्वेटिंग अवे, व्हाट्स द पॉइंट? शी इज अनकंफर्टेबल, द बेबी इज अनकंफर्टेबल. इफ इट्स 50 degrees outside and you are not letting the poor woman switch on a fan, I mean it has got no medical relevance to the situation,
यही
right?
मतलब जो पहले टाइम के कस्टम्स चल रहे हैं, अब इसको मिथ्स को ब्रेक करना ही है.
पहले टाइम के कस्टम इसलिए हैं क्योंकि तब एयर कंडीशनिंग नहीं होती थी, है ना. तब घर इतने हेविली कंक्रीट एंड यू नो ऑल दीज फैंसी वो नहीं होता था. रीइंफोर्समेंट्स नहीं थे. बड़े सारे कच्चे घर होते थे, एक एक ईंटे की होती थी. बड़े सारे उसमें विंडोज होते थे. कहीं से हवा इधर से आ रही है, उधर से आ रही है. मल्टीपल थिंग्स यूज्ड टू बी देयर. तब इतनी गर्मी भी नहीं होती थी. सो if the ambient environment is good, obviously you will make sure that the mother and the baby are warm. Because अगर ठंड लगेगी तो it is a cold stress, and that is not good for anybody who is unwell. अगर आप बीमार भी होते हो तो आपको ठंड तो नहीं पसंद होती ना, बुखार भी चढ़ता है तो you want to cover yourself, because cold is not good, right? Even for the baby. So these myths are based on the things which were there 100, I don't know, 50, 100, 200 years ago, when there was no air conditioning, when there was no AC, when there was no fan, कुछ भी नहीं होता था तब. बट आज के ज़माने में जब सबके घर में AC लगे हुए हैं, सो वाई यू नो बेसिकली ट्रबल द पुअर वुमन इन द हीट. आप एम्बिएंट टेम्परेचर रखो घर में AC में 25 डिग्री या 27 डिग्री या जो भी है उसमें आप रखो एंड यू नो बी कंफर्टेबल.
अब सिजेरियन डिलीवरी के अंदर जैसे इतनी टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स हो चुकी हैं, तो आज की डेट में आप ये कह सकते हो कि नॉर्मल डिलीवरी वर्सेस सिजेरियन डिलीवरी में ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं रहा. और मदर की हेल्थ और बच्चे की हेल्थ में क्या डिफरेंस रहता है अगर नॉर्मल डिलीवरी को देखा जाए और सिजेरियन डिलीवरी?
Caesarean way of birth was introduced to save the baby in case the mother is not able to deliver the baby naturally, which is a normal vaginal delivery. ठीक है, इसीलिए हमने सिजेरियन शुरू करा था. मतलब किसी ने जो भी शुरू करा था कि बच्चे को आप बाहर से काट के निकाल लो, बिकॉज आइदर द मदर इज सॉर्ट ऑफ यू नो नॉट लॉस्ट कॉन्शियसनेस है, नियरिंग हर डेथ फॉर सम रीजन, और शी इज नॉट एबल टू पुश, और द बर्थ कैनाल इज स्मॉल, और द बेबीज प्रेजेंटेशन इज सच कि वो बच्चा ब्रीच है या उसका ऐसा प्रेजेंटेशन है कि वो निकल ही नहीं सकता है नॉर्मली. सो दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई सिजेरियन सेक्शन वाज प्रोबेबली आइडेंटिफाइड एंड ब्रॉट इनटू प्रैक्टिस, राइट? सो इट इज नॉट अ रूटीन थिंग टू डू, बट आई एग्री ऑफ लेट it has become as common as a normal delivery and people opt for it. It is called an elective cesarean now. People say कि नहीं, we don't want to take the pain and we want a baby, you know, by cesarean. So definitely there are I won't say side effects, but there are differences in the delivery. See, when a baby takes when the baby's birth takes place naturally, तो जो आपकी birth canal होती है, the baby is pushed out of it. So in that way the lungs are squeezed, everything is squeezed, you know, the baby is put through a bit of a stress as soon as the baby comes out, क्योंकि वो सब उसके fluids सारी निकल गई होती हैं, and the cry is sort of spontaneous. Okay, so the baby has to cry to breathe. मतलब वो inevitable है, the baby has to cry to take the first breath, right? Because of the whole compression and the stress which has happened in the birth canal. In cesarean section is not like that. The baby does not undergo all these changes. तो 1 minute the baby is in the amniotic sac and happily gulping it, you know, drinking the amniotic fluid. And the other minute the baby is sort of out of it. So baby does not have a time to transition. So those initial few seconds where all this squeezing of the fluids from the lungs takes place and the baby makes an independent effort to breathe, all those things don't happen. So that is one thing. Other than that, it's more of a trauma to the mother than the baby, if I may say so, because
Okay.
cutting 7 layers of your body, then suturing them back, it's a bit of a trauma which women don't sort of realize it because they feel it's okay and we'll get a cosmetic thing done later on. So usually, it's more of a trauma for the mother and it creates so much of trauma and stress in the mother. तो वो हार्मोन्स भी वही वाले सिक्रीट होते हैं. I'll come to it when we talk about breastfeeding, because all these hormones they influence the quality of your breast milk.
Okay.
So अगर स्ट्रेस और ट्रॉमा है बॉडी में तो हार्मोन्स भी वैसे ही होंगे, तो you will transmit all that stress and trauma and you won't be able to produce breast milk because you're in so much pain. Like then you're not maternal anymore. No? You'll be like, ये दर्द कम करो पहले, which is a normal human reaction.
So मैम प्री टर्म बर्थ के अंदर क्या कॉम्प्लिकेशंस होती है और क्यों किन केसेस में वो करना पड़ता है?
See, premature birth is, what is it? It is when you anticipate the birth of the baby before completing term gestation, which is 37 weeks. So no one wants a preterm birth, right? But there are certain complications which may lead to a preterm birth. So it could be gestational diabetes, which is not controlled. It could be eclampsia, which is high blood pressure in the pregnant woman. तो अगर blood pressure बहुत high हो गया है and it is not being controlled by medication, so we don't want the baby's health to be compromised. So that time the birth is induced artificially so that the baby is quickly sort of delivered, so we can save the mother and the baby. बट हाँ, मोस्टली अपने आप जब होता है वो तभी होता है जब कोई स्ट्रेस होता है बॉडी में, मैटरनल स्ट्रेस, अनकंट्रोल्ड डायबिटीज, अनकंट्रोल्ड हाई ब्लड प्रेशर हो गया है. इन सब चीज़ों में द बेबी में सॉर्ट ऑफ कम टेक बर्थ अर्लियर, या फिर प्रीमेच्योर रप्चर ऑफ मेम्ब्रेन्स हो गया, लीकिंग इतनी ज्यादा हो गई, मेम्ब्रेन्स हैव ऑल लीक्ड अवे, सो देयर इज नथिंग, एमनियोटिक सैक इज एम्प्टी, तो फिर बच्चा डिलीवर करना ही पड़ेगा. देयर इज नो वे टू नरिश द बेबी विदाउट द एमनियोटिक सैक.
ओके.
So these are multiple medical conditions which can happen, which can lead to a preterm birth, and again they are all avoidable if we follow the right kind of advice and if we follow the right kind of treatment in the antenatal period during
तो
pregnancy.
जिन बच्चों को इंक्यूबेटर में रखा जाता है जो प्रीटर्म पैदा हो जाते हैं, तो उनको आगे जाके कुछ कॉम्प्लिकेशंस आती हैं आप पे केसेस ऐसे?
It again depends कि उनकी gestational age क्या है. तो
Okay.
preterm is a blanket statement. प्रीटर्म तरह के होते हैं. अब कुछ प्रीटर्म्स होते हैं जो अपनी जेस्टेशनल एज के हिसाब से जिनका वेट ठीक होता है, और कुछ होते हैं जो स्मॉल होते हैं. तो जैसे अगर कोई बच्चा है जो 36 वीक्स को पैदा हुआ है और उसका वजन 2 किलो है, तो उसको इतनी कोई इश्यूज नहीं आएंगी बिकॉज इज अ बॉर्डर लाइन प्रीटर्म. There's an appropriate gestational age. Weight according to the gestational age seems all right.
Okay.
And then there are a baby who is born, say for example, at 33 weeks, और उसका वजन है suppose 1.4 kg or something. So that baby again would be a small baby, small for his gestation age. So there are charts through which we find out what kind of a preterm this baby is. Is he a small for gestation age or appropriate for gestation age? And based on those charts, we assess what could be the possible outcomes for this particular baby. But in a nutshell, when you are born preterm, the baby is expected to have a multiple list of things like respiratory distress हो सकता है उसको exaggerated jaundice हो सकता है, higher risk of infection हो सकता है उस बच्चे को, क्योंकि उसकी टेम्परेचर मतलब थर्मो रेगुलेशन नहीं है, बिकॉज क्योंकि पहले हुआ है तो फैट डिपॉजिट नहीं हुआ ठीक से, पहले हुआ है तो लंग्स डेवलप नहीं हुए, पहले हुआ है तो गट डेवलप नहीं हुई. सो body is in general immature. So for all those reasons, the child may have multiple problems. So for the lungs, there will be respiratory distress. You need to intervene, give artificially. उसको support करोगे, machine लगाओगे, surfactant दोगे. अब उसको अगर gut में problem है तो infection की problem हो सकती है, antibiotics देने पड़ेंगे. You have to support the baby in the nursery, couple of days observation, things like that. Again, then if the baby has, it's too immature, brain development is an issue. So you have to observe the baby कि कोई ऐसे signs तो नहीं है जहाँ इसको neurodevelopmental suppression हो. So you have to again observe the baby, maybe give hypothermia selectively to the the brain. So there are multiple modalities which have to be looked at, and the baby
Okay.
needs to be observed for a couple of days in the nursery, in the intensive care unit, to ensure that all those things which are there उनमें से कोई है तो नहीं. और सबके sequelae होते हैं. If it is prolonged, if the insult is prolonged, अगर बहुत टाइम तक बच्चा in utero stress में था तो the stress is long for a longer period, 12 घंटे 24 घंटे. अब जैसे रूरल की कोई मदर है बेचारी, गांव में है, और उसका रप्चर ऑफ मेम्ब्रेन्स हो गया, उसको लीकिंग हो रहा है, लेकिन जब तक वो हॉस्पिटल में पहुंची 2 दिन हो गए, 3 दिन हो गया. So for those children the sequelae is even bad.
Okay.
So it depends from the time of insult to the time of intervention. That is how we save such babies.
मैम आइडियल हाइट और वेट क्या होती है एट द टाइम ऑफ बर्थ बेबी की?
आइडियल तो कुछ भी नहीं होता,
हाँ.
ठीक है, बिकॉज इंडियन बेबीज का हाइट और जो लेंथ बोलते हैं, तो लेंथ एंड वेट फॉर इंडियन बेबीज, सो व्हाट वी कॉल एज लो बर्थ वेट बेबीज आर बेबीज लेस देन 2.5 kgs.
Okay.
So any baby 2.5 or above is all right.
Okay.
So we can live with it.
Hmm.
Like that. So, and the height, if I may say, the median length of a baby could be anywhere between 49 to 53 centimeters. So any aberration here and there, but we don't call it abnormal because preterm हो सकता है, कुछ और कोई कारण हो सकता है, एक बच्चे का जनरल लेंथ ही ज़्यादा हो सकता है ड्यू टू जेनेटिक रीजन. So there is nothing called ideal. It's called a mean length and a mean
Okay.
weight, which is of at least 90% of the population.
तो कंसर्निंग इशू कब होता है? वेट कितना कम हो जब कंसर्निंग लेस देन 2 kgs?
No. So as I said, any weight less than 2.5 kg is considered a low birth weight. कि 2.5 किलो तो होना ही चाहिए बच्चे जन्म पे. अगर उससे कम है तो इसका वजन तो कम है. तो पहले तो हमें वो कारण ढूंढना है कि वजन कम क्यों. So concern is anything between less than 2.5.
ओके.
We cannot say कि 2 किलो वाला ज़्यादा कंसर्निंग है, 2.4 वाला कम है. एक फिल्टर तो वहाँ है ही 2.5 से कम. उसके बाद डिपेंडिंग ऑन द क्लिनिकल कंडीशन ऑफ द इन्फेंट वी विल sort of assess whether which baby requires higher, in the triage which baby requires more attention.
मैम कोई ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग के पीरियड के अंदर कोई स्पेसिफिक डाइटरी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस होती हैं जो वुमेन को फॉलो करनी चाहिए?
Breastfeeding is not a medical treatment, right? Breastfeeding is a behavior, right? And it is a behavior since time immemorial, right? It is the only food for babies, and every if I may say culture or every kind of community in our country, every religion has their own different ways and different stories around it. So breastfeeding को हम we can't just talk about कि बस restrictions के बारे में बात करके we leave them.
नहीं, आजकल वो लाइफस्टाइल ऐसा है कि हम जंक फूड भी खा रहे हैं एंड वी आल्सो पार्टी एंड मेनी पीपल यूज स्मोकिंग एंड अल्कोहल. तो उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड मैं पूछ रहा था कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शंस की क्या होती हैं?
So see, so when you talk about partying and smoking and alcohol, I think no one should do it, right? It's not recommended for anybody, irrespective of whether you are lactating or not. That is one thing. The other thing is, while you are breastfeeding, you have to understand what is breast milk. It is being made in the mother's body. So whatever the mother consumes, you are giving it to your baby. That's how it is, right? कि आप जो भी माँ खा रही है, वही मिल्क में कन्वर्ट होके बच्चे को जा रहा है, उसी में से न्यूट्रिशन बच्चे को जा रहा है. तो if you are taking alcohol, you are giving your child alcohol. It is as simple as that. And there is a reason why children are not allowed to have alcohol, and there are legal restrictions, right? So it's not a it should not be even implied. I mean, ये तो एक अपने आप में एक बात है कि अगर जो चीज़ आपको पता है कि हमें बच्चों को नहीं देनी, तो वहाँ आप खुद क्यों ले रहे हो? When you know that whatever you take is directly going to be given to your baby, right? So obviously alcohol, tobacco in any form, any kind of drug abuse, all of these things nahi, I mean, in fact in the Western world, if you are doing all these things in breastfeeding, it amounts to child abuse in some states in America.
और मैम ठंडा गरम खाने का जैसे आइसक्रीम एंड जंक फूड.
So see, when you give birth, योर बॉडी, अभी आप ही ने मुझे बोला कि मदर को हील करना होता है, सो देयर इज दैट टाइम टू हील योर बॉडी बिकॉज यू हैव टेकन अ बिग, you've done a big thing, your body has done a big thing, produced a a human being, so it's a huge thing to do, and your body needs time to heal from that insult. So to heal you have to rest a lot, and to heal you have to give your body the right temperature. ठीक है, तो आपने कभी सुना है कि कोई बीमार हो तो उसको बोले कि तू इसको ठंडा खाना खिला दे, या इसको बासी खाना खिला दे, या इसको मिर्च मसाले वाला, कभी सुना है आपने? नहीं सुना. सेम थिंग अप्लाइज टू दिस पार्ट इन दिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट आल्सो, दैट इफ योर बॉडी इज हीलिंग फ्रॉम सो मच व्हिच इट हैज गॉन थ्रू, आपके ऑर्गन्स पुश रहे हैं ऊपर, आपका यूट्रस इतना बड़ा है तो वो नीचे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो रहा है, ऑर्गन्स आर गोइंग बैक टू द नॉर्मल प्लेस, द सर्कुलेशन इज कमिंग बैक टू इट्स नॉर्मल स्पीड, योर यू जस्ट एक्सपेल्ड योर प्लेसेंटा, देयर इज अ लॉट सूचर्स हैं, एक्सटर्नल वुंड इंजरी है, there is the hormones are literally savaging your body, so many things are going on inside the body, and at this point of time consider it as a healing period. Why would you want to expose your body to cold things or unhealthy things, right? It's a normal way of thinking कि अगर आपको बीमार हो, आपको ठीक होना है तो आप हल्का ही खाना खाओगे, आप गर्म ही खाओगे. तो इसीलिए यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड कि पुराने दादी नानी लोग बोलते हैं कि अजवाइन का पानी दो, गर्म पानी दो, कोई कहीं पे सौंठ का दो, things like that, and they make pinni, and they make ghee, dry fruits, and all those things are given to a new mother. This is all very important because it all gives strength to the body to heal from all this, and to get all your systems, especially the uterus and the muscles and the blood supply, वो सब कुछ ठीक करने के लिए ये सब बहुत जरूरी होता है, which unfortunately nowadays people don't follow because they think, oh, ये तो this is all पुरानी बातें हैं, they have no science. But all of this has a scientific rationale. And in addition to all the the benefits for the mother's body, कि जितना भी आप खा रहे हो मावा, घी and all, is going to improve the quality of your milk to wondrous proportions. Like your milk will be very very good.
मैम आजकल जो प्रॉब्लम है मिल्क प्रोडक्शन में, उसके क्या रीजन है?
सो पोस्ट नेटल पीरियड आपका स्टार्ट होता है एज सून एज द बेबी इज डिलीवर्ड, ठीक है? तो ब्रेस्ट मिल्क सिक्रीशन को सबसे पहले बढ़ाने का सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो चीज़ है, इमीडिएटली आफ्टर बर्थ द बेबी शुड बी पुट ऑन द बॉडी ऑफ द मदर इमीडिएटली आफ्टर बर्थ.
ओके,
लाइक उसको कहते हैं स्किन टू स्किन कॉन्टैक्ट. सो द बेबीज because they are only used to their mother's smell. 9 महीने माँ के अंदर थे तो उनको सिर्फ मदर के बारे में पता है, मदर की स्मेल पता है. तो when you put the baby on the mother's body, the baby will know okay, this is my mother. Familiar space. The baby feels secure. And also people haven't seen it, and it's a very magical thing to do, that if you place the baby on the mother's abdomen, the baby can crawl to the mother's breast and automatically start feeding, like nature has intended to. So this is a magic, and I think every hospital should practice it, that once the baby is delivered, you put the baby on the mother.
So skin to skin contact is important.
Yes, this were two things. पहला, बच्चे के रिफ्लेक्सेस खुद से स्पॉन्टेनियसली डेवलप होते हैं, which is good for the brain of the baby. Secondly, the first time the baby starts suckling, that colostrum which is being produced in the breast, it has got a very high value in terms of immunity. It has got all kinds of antigens, all kinds of immunoglobulins, and good quality fat in it. So that is like, you call it the first vaccine of the child.
Okay.
So that is the importance of that skin to skin contact. That first vaccination is given by the mother herself to the baby, and it sort of initiates the process of breast milk production. Okay, now the baby has latched on the breast, तो अब breast milk production start होती है वहाँ से, because जब बच्चा suckle करता है breast पे, तो breast से signals जाते हैं through hormones to the brain of the mother that now my baby needs food, and those signals translate into milk production, and they start secreting milk automatically. No one has to do anything about it.
Okay.
It's like a automated system होता है ना computers में. It's like an automated system built by nature in the body. So it's that beautiful. No one has to do anything.
तो मतलब अगर स्किन टू स्किन कांटेक्ट हो एट द टाइम ऑफ द बर्थ तो मेजर केसेस में प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी फिर ब्रेस्ट मिल्क प्रोडक्शन।
सी स्किन टू स्किन कांटेक्ट देखो, अगर अब जैसे सिजेरियन है तो वहाँ नहीं हो सकता, तो हम ये नहीं कहते कि इट्स अ कंपल्सरी थिंग और इसके बिना तो काम ही नहीं चलेगा। सो वेयर इट इज पॉसिबल you do it, where it is not possible, but at least within the first hour the baby should be put on the mother's breast. अगर मदर खुद नहीं कर पा रही है तो somebody can assist her, hold the baby close to her body and maybe help in initiating that breastfeeding, because this initiation will start this cycle of breast milk production. जिन mothers में, and there are researches that though in mothers where this initiation process takes longer, likelihood that they will breastfeed later on reduces.
Okay.
Because they will feel, and it's not wrong, उनका breast milk initiation late होगा, production slow हो जाएगी, वो करना नहीं आएगा. So all these things lead to a perception that the mother will feel मेरा तो दूध ही नहीं आ रहा, and she will stop. So the likelihood of not breastfeeding increases with higher the gap between the birth and the initiation of breastfeeding.
Okay. So ma'am, according to global recommendations and in Indian context also, किस एज तक recommended होता है breastfeeding?
So exclusive breastfeeding, which is giving your baby only breast milk, not even water, is recommended up to 6 months of age.
Okay.
मतलब जन्म के बाद से जब बच्चा 6 महीने का हो जाए तब तक उसको सिर्फ माँ का दूध ही देना है और कुछ नहीं देना, पानी भी नहीं देना।
अच्छा, पानी भी मतलब नहीं,
पानी भी नहीं देना, एक कुछ चटाना भी नहीं है, हनी भी नहीं देना, गुट्टी भी नहीं देना, कुछ नहीं देना एक्सेप्ट डॉक्टर अप्रूव्ड मेडिकेशन इफ रिक्वायर्ड। That is called exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months of age.
Okay. And ma'am, in some cases where there are complications कि आप नहीं कर सकते breast feed, जैसे कि काफ़ी मदर्स को कुछ प्रॉब्लम भी होती है, एंड वी ऑल्सो सी इन द केसेस ऑफ HIV कि HIV के अंदर इफ मदर प्रेगनेंसी के पीरियड में मेडिकेशन ले लेती हैं तो और चांसेस ऑफ बेबी टू गेट HIV डिक्रीजेस टू लेस देन 2%, तो उस केस के अंदर फिर वो ब्रेस्ट फीड तो नहीं कर सकती, तो क्या रिकमेंडेशंस होती है?
ओके, सो वील गो स्टेप वाइज। Currently there are only 2 contraindications to breastfeeding, which are medical conditions, not related to anything else in the world, apart from the 2 medical conditions. When you talk of HIV, HIV is also not an absolute contraindication to breastfeeding, I should say.
Okay.
It's not an absolute contraindication, because in low middle income countries it has been seen that the benefits of breastfeeding outweigh the, if I may say, the disadvantages of not breastfeeding. Like अगर आप किसी मदर को HIV है और अगर वो ट्रीटमेंट पे है और अगर बच्चे को भी प्रोफाइलैक्टिक ट्रीटमेंट पे डाला है तो बेबी कैन सेफली ब्रेस्टफीड।
ओके।
बिकॉज अगर उसको ब्रेस्टफीड नहीं करेगी माँ और कुछ और देगी, चांसेस ऑफ द बेबी डाइंग ऑफ डायरिया आर हायर बिकॉज ऑफ कंटैमिनेशन, इन्फेक्शन, बॉटल से हो गया, गलत गंदे पानी से हो गया, गलत डाइल्यूशन से हो गया, द चांसेस ऑफ बेबी डाइंग ऑफ डायरिया आर हायर. सो इट इज context specific when you talk of these kind of recommendations like HIV. It's context specific. Which country are you talking about? Obviously if you talk about America, वहाँ तो नहीं देगी, वो कहेगी हाँ ठीक है मैं इसको फॉर्मूला दूंगी बिकॉज वहाँ पानी का भी उसको सोर्स क्लीन है, they have potable water, they don't have infection in, they are clean and hygienic ways to prepare it and feed it, so there won't be a problem there. Child will not have diarrhea there. But in low middle income countries, when you talk of African nations, when you talk of India, when you talk of Pakistan, Bangladesh, in these kind of countries where there is a problem with potable water, where there is a problem of education, dilution की problem है, जहाँ सोशो इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस इतना पुअर है कि वो डब्बे का दूध खरीद नहीं सकती है, तो वो बकरी का दे रही है, गाय का दे रही है, भैंस का दे रही है, फिर वो उसको भी उसमें भी पानी मिला रही है
हाँ।
क्योंकि उसके तो 6 बच्चे और हैं.
हाँ.
You understand? So there are
हाँ.
so many. It's not just a recommendation then. You have to see the entire context of that situation before you know give a recommendation to a woman. So for me, if a mother is from a higher socioeconomic status, तो अगर मेरे पास कोई mother आएगी डिफेंस कॉलोनी से, तो उसको मैं बोलूंगी कि if she is adamant that she doesn't want to give breastfeeding, so I'll say fine, you go to take formula. But at the same time, if a woman is coming to me from a slum area, I will say कि no, you know, you continue with breastfeeding because the chances your baby having diarrhea are higher if you stop giving breast milk.
Yeah.
But all said and done, the qualities which breast milk has, no milk on the earth will have. That is a said thing. How is breastfeeding regulated? The more you feed the baby, the more breast milk is produced. ठीक है, and the breastfeeding is, I mean, the nature has made it in such a way that the quality of the breast milk, the composition of breast milk is regulated by the baby himself or herself. क्योंकि जब आप अपने बच्चे को ब्रेस्ट से लगाते हो, तो जो एक्सचेंज होता है, सलाइवा जो होता है बेबी का, so that sort of goes inside the mother's, you know, breast. So it sends the signals to the brain that this is what the baby requires. So let's change the milk and do this now to the milk. You know, so that is the, if I may say, that kind of chemistry is there between the baby and the mother, that it cannot, it is never that the mother is not able to fulfill the baby's demands. It is usually faulty breastfeeding in the first few days after birth, जहाँ मदर को सही गाइडेंस नहीं मिली होती है, मदर को कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं होता अपने आप में, या फिर मदर को कोई इलनेस में सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता, या घर के लोग होते हैं कि नहीं 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 तुम रहने दो, we'll do it, you know, you leave the baby. So see, all these things contribute to, if the mother doesn't have confidence in herself, obviously she will feel ना that मेरे तो दूध नहीं हो रहा, तो मुझे तो ऊपर का ही देना पड़ेगा. दो घर में जिन्होंने टोक दिया कि तो बच्चा रोता रहता है सारे टाइम. What will she feel? She'll feel okay, that means somewhere I am at fault. So all these ways, in these situations, the mother's confidence comes down. So the right kind of guidance in the first 15 days or the first month to any new mother will solve all her problems regarding breastfeeding. Because once the mother knows how to latch and how to, you know, put the baby to her breast, कुछ और करना ही नहीं है माँ ने, बाकी काम तो बच्चे में करना है सारा, माँ ने तो कुछ नहीं करना, है ना. और अगर उसी को आप डालो, अगर वो बॉटल फीड कराए, कितना काम पड़ जाएगा माँ का. बॉटल्स लाओ, उनको स्टेरलाइज करो, धो, बनाओ, ये करो, वो, ट्रिपल थिंग्स एंड एक्सपेंडिचर एंड देन द झंझट. सो इट्स ऑल.
तो मैम ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग की बॉटल्स के अंदर लोग स्टोर कर लेते हैं अपना रेफ्रिजरेटर.
अबाउट एक्सप्रेशन एंड पंपिंग.
यस, पंपिंग.
एग्जैक्टली. तो मैंने जो आपको भी बताया कि जब बच्चे डायरेक्टली ब्रेस्ट पे होता है, तो उसके सलाइवा से mother's body gets the signals that this is what all is required. So when you pump, that connection is lost.
तो पंपिंग से भी ब्रेस्ट मिल्क प्रोडक्शन कम होती है.
पंपिंग से ब्रेस्ट मिल्क प्रोडक्शन कम नहीं होती है. पंपिंग से जो ट्रांजिशन होनी चाहिए ब्रेस्ट मिल्क में विद द एज ऑफ द बेबी, दैट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन विद द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द बेबी.
ओके.
बिकॉज़ यू कीप ऑन पंपिंग. पंपिंग से ब्रेस्ट मिल्क प्रोडक्शन तो ज्यादा ही रहेगी, क्योंकि कॉन्स्टेंटली डूइंग इट आर्टिफिशियली. इतना तो जोर बच्चा नहीं लगा सकता ना जितना मशीन लगा रही है. तो ब्रेस्ट मिल्क प्रोडक्शन इज गुड, बट you are right that bond is not there because anyone can feed the baby. Secondly, this transitional in the composition of the milk will not happen because the baby is not directly in touch with the mother. Thirdly, when you talk of microbiota, so every human being has bacteria. हमारी सबकी स्किन पे होता है. तो अगर बच्चा माँ से जुड़ा रहेगा, तो जो माँ का माइक्रोबायोटा है ग्रेजुअली बेबी पे ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. सो बेबी विल कॉलोनाइज टू दैट माइक्रोबायोटा and immunity develop होगी, antibodies develop होगी, all those things will happen. So when you bottle feed, all these things won't happen, right? Because there is no contact when you bottle feeding. बच्चा लेटा हुआ है, बॉटल लेके ऐसे बैठे हुए, there is no contact, right? मेड पिला रही है, कोई और पिला रहा है घर का मेंबर. So that contact is lost. Now एक तो माइक्रोबायोटा इज नॉट डेवलप्ड, दूसरा माइक्रोबायोटा मेड का आ जाएगा.
सही बात.
ठीक है, अभी 50 घर में जो आए उसका आ जाएगा. तुमने 2 मेड, एक जापा मेड है खाने वाली है, वो वाली है. कभी कोई घर में बुआ आ गई, कोई दादी आ गई, कोई नानी आ गई. तो बच्चे का तो माइक्रोबायोटा ही कंफ्यूज्ड है कि करना क्या है.
मदर संभाल नहीं रही, 10 लोग बाकी के संभाल.
10 लोग और संभाल रहे हैं. Again, then the third thing is the bond. So because the baby considers mothers to be a part of themselves. Babies don't identify mothers as an external being. जैसे अगर मैं हूँ तो मेरा बच्चा है, तो my baby is with me, so that is a dyer. You know, it's one entity.
One being.
For babies, it is one entity. So they only see a third person, like father or a dada or a dadi or a nana nani in the house as a third person. They don't see their mothers as a third person. उन्हें लगता है ये तो हमारी body का part है. So if you're separated from that, so it impacts the baby in a, if I would say, in a psychological way, which you don't realize it early. Your baby will be more fussy. Your baby will be more irritable. You will need time to pacify the baby more. उसको कॉलिक ज़्यादा होएगा, जो पेट में गैस हो जाती है छोटे बच्चों को, उसको कॉलिक ज़्यादा होगा, वो ज़्यादा फंसी होगा, वो बहुत रोएगा, बात छोटा इरिटेबल होगा, ज़्यादा देर नहीं सोएगा.
अगर बॉन्ड इतना अच्छा नहीं हो तो
बॉन्ड ही अगर मदर के पास ज़्यादा नहीं, बिकॉज बीइंग विद द मदर comforts the baby. The baby has this security that okay, I am with a reliable human being, you know. So the baby is more comforted. The baby will sleep longer. The baby will be less irritable. The baby will feed better. वो दूध भी अच्छे से पिएगा. और ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग में कभी बच्चे को गैस नहीं होती, क्योंकि बॉटल से तो गैस जाएगी ना, ब्रेस्ट से कैसे गैस जाएगी पेट में. So colic is also you know, more in infants who are given express breast milk or top feeds with bottles.
मैं आजकल बहुत कॉमन हो गया कि लोग ब्रेस्ट फीड पे नहीं करके टॉप फीड पे जा रहे हैं. एंड टॉप फीड पे ऐसा भी होता है कि मैं देखता हूँ कि बच्चे जो है दे टेंड टू बी मोर ओबीज. एंड इन ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग जो बच्चे होते हैं वो कंपैरेटिवली लीनर होते हैं.
तो अगेन द सेम आंसर आई गिव यू, बिकॉज द ब्रेस्ट मिल्क जो होता है वो बच्चे की रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से चेंज होता रहता है. बट फॉर्मूला इज अ डब्बा. इट हैज बीन सिंथेसाइज्ड बाय अ कंपनी, ठीक है, एंड दैट company is what it is basically consumerism, है ना. So consumerism है तो वो अपने हिसाब से they want to sell the product, so they will say no, this is the closest to breast milk, this is the close. How can you make something which is made by nature? It's not possible. So the dabba wala milk, definitely the baby will not be able to digest it. It is stored in the body for a longer amount of time. Takes a bit of time to digest it because it is synthesized artificially. It's not a natural thing. Even if each and every composition of the ingredients or the nutrient value is as similar to breast milk as possible, but वो immunoprotective factors नहीं आएंगे, bioactive factors नहीं आएंगे उसमें. तो और plus it doesn't transition with the need of the baby. वो 3 महीने के बच्चे को भी वही पिला रहे हो आप, 4 महीने के बच्चे को भी वही पिला रहे हो आप, 6 महीने के भी बच्चे को. बट यहाँ पे मदर का मिल्क ट्रांजिशन कर रहा है विद द ग्रोइंग एज. हर बार इट चेंजेस. प्रीटर्म मदर्स जो होती हैं वो अलग तरह का दूध बनाती हैं. टर्म जो बच्चे पैदा होते हैं उनकी मदर्स अलग तरह का दूध बनाती हैं. तो इट इज ऑल डिपेंडिंग ऑन व्हाट योर बेबी नीड्स, बट द डब्बा इज यूनिफॉर्म फॉर ऑल. So that is the reason the dabba wala. And also additionally, see when you, how do I tell you, एक चीज़ होती है रिस्पॉन्सिव फीडिंग. एक है कि मैंने आपके सामने एक थाली भर के खाना रखा है और बोला ये सारा खत्म करना है. और एक है मैंने आपके सामने खाना रखा है, बोला जितना खाया जाए उतना खाओ और बाकी उठ जाओ. ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग इज जितना दूध पिया जाए, जब पेट भर जाए छोड़ दो. डब्बा का दूध इज ये एक बोतल भरी है, ये लगा के ही खत्म करनी है, लगाए रखो. तो बच्चे के खुद की जो परसेप्शन होती है ना भूख की, वो खत्म हो जाती है. आपको पता है हर 2 घंटे हो गए, चलो 200 ml दूध अंदर डालना है. 2 घंटे हो गए, चलो 200. With breastfeeding, it is not like that. Breastfeeding is whenever the baby cries, you have to feed the baby. It's called demand feeding and it's responsive feeding. So जब आप एक mechanically बच्चे को 200 ml दूध पिलाए जा रहे हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली द बेबी इज गोइंग टू ग्रो इन वेट. फिर सब कहेंगे अरे वाह देखो डब्बे के दूध से कितना चबी हो गया, मोटा हो गया. बट दैट्स बैड.
चबी बच्चों को देख के लोग खुश होते हैं कि हेल्दी है,
बट दैट्स बैड. इन लॉन्ग रन इट्स बैड बिकॉज दैट इज लाइक यू आर sort of laying the foundation of all kinds of metabolic disorders for the future, with type 2 diabetes, obesity, cardiometabolic disorders. तो वो पूरी हम फाउंडेशन वहीं रख दे रहे हैं.
वैक्सीन्स की इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में बात करना चाहूँगा मैं कि वैक्सीन्स को लेके बहुत कॉमन मिथ्स हैं कि वैक्सीन जो है उनसे ऑटोइम्यून डिसऑर्डर्स हो जाते हैं, या फिर वैक्सीन के अंदर मर्क्यूरी और एल्यूमिनियम का कंटेंट बहुत होता है. ऐसे भी मीम्स हैं कि वैक्सीन जो है वो ग्लोबल डीपॉपुलेशन प्रोजेक्ट का हिस्सा है. तो एक कॉन्स्पिरेसी थ्योरीज होती है इससे रिलेटेड. तो वैक्सीन्स को लेके आप क्या कहना चाहोगे, इनकी इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में?
So there is evidence that जब से vaccines बनी हैं
हम्म
for different diseases,
हम्म
the morbidities have मतलब death rate कम हुए हैं और इंसिडेंस रेट्स कम हुए हैं उन पर्टिकुलर इलनेसेस या डिजीजेस के फायदे से। पोलियो इरेडिकेट करा है हमने, स्मॉल पॉक्स इरेडिकेट करा जिससे लाखों लाखों लोग मरते थे पुराने ज़माने में, राइट। तब तो हमें डीपॉपुलेट करने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती थी क्योंकि तब तो एंटीबायोटिक्स भी नहीं थे और वॉर्स भी इतने होते थे। So this depopulation theory is just going down the drain. So that is my opinion. Other people may differ, right? This theory, if I may say, is selective to certain communities, but not everyone in general. In my practice, which I have seen. Then, when you talk about additives in vaccines, so जो भी vaccines में additives होते हैं, we have to stabilize them क्योंकि वैक्सीन क्या होती है, वही वायरस जो या वही ऑर्गेनिज्म जो वो डिजीज कराता है उसका एटीन्यूएटेड फॉर्म होता है, मतलब उसका इन लेमैन लैंग्वेज डिसेबल्ड फॉर्म होता है, ताकि वो जब बॉडी में जाए तो हमारी बॉडी का जो इम्यून सिस्टम है वो उसको आइडेंटिफाई कर ले कि अच्छा ये ऐसा दिखता है वायरस, और उसके अगेंस्ट अपना एंटीबॉडीज बनाता चला जाए, ताकि जब वो एक्चुअल वायरस से इन्फेक्शन हो तो एंटीबॉडीज हमारे पास ऑलरेडी हैं स्टॉक में उससे लड़ने के लिए। सो आई डोंट थिंक देयर आर एनी थ्योरीज व्हिच वुड से कि वैक्सीन्स आर बैड। आई एम श्योर दिस हैज कम अप आफ्टर कोविड, probably because of all these conspiracy theories around the COVID vaccine and all of those things. But COVID vaccine is not mandatory in India for children, so I mean you don't have to worry about that for now. But there are other vaccines which are there under the universal immunization program given by WHO. Then there are certain which are specific to our country, which are given by the Indian Academy of Pediatrics. So those vaccines, उसमें भी कुछ होती हैं जो mandatory हैं, some are optional, based on your requirement. And for some reason, कहीं पे based on the pocket of the consumer, you can avail those vaccines and get your children vaccinated.
मैम डिफर भी करते हैं इनके प्राइसेस वैक्सीन के, अगर आप गवर्नमेंट क्लिनिक से लगवाओ वर्सेस एक प्राइवेट?
इन गवर्नमेंट एवरीथिंग इज सब्सिडाइज्ड बिकॉज हमारी कंट्री में सब एक पूल पे तो है नहीं है, सबके इफ आई मे से वेल्थ स्टेटसेस आर डिफरेंट फॉर ऑल, सो it would be unfair to give the subsidized rates to the people who can afford it versus those who cannot afford it, right? It would be rather unfair. So obviously the prices would differ. There are vaccines, but government hospitals में only mandatory vaccines आते हैं. The optional ones are not available because they are optional. So those ones only rich people apparently can afford.
Yes. So ma'am, what kind of things you are surprised to see that parents अपने न्यूबॉर्न बच्चों के साथ करते हैं and उनके बारे में कुछ आप डिस्कस करना चाहोगे?
अब there are problems जहाँ पे women are working, so they can't really do breastfeeding directly. So we advise them to pump and give pump milk, expressed breast milk, and sometimes they're not able to, so then they'll give some strange animals milk, and they'll put water in it and they'll do some शक्कर डाल दी नानी ने या दादी ने, उसने कहा अच्छा नहीं इसमें ये भी डाल देते हैं, ऐसा कर देते हैं, पानी कर देते हैं, ये भारी होता है, ये हल्का होता है, things like that. So animal milk is a strict no for babies
till 6 months.
Animal नहीं, animal milk is for animals. Please let the animals drink the animal milk. Don't give your babies.
You are talking about cow and buffalo milk.
Yes, cow, buffalo, goat. People get goat also. So don't give any kind of animal milk to your children, at least till 1 year of age.
Till 1 year.
Minimum 1 year of age.
Okay.
Because आप अपना डब्बे का दूध जो है वो आप अगर बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, ये डॉक्टर ने एडवाइस करा है तो यू गिव फॉर्मूला मिल्क, अदरवाइज यू कंटिन्यू विद योर ब्रेस्ट मिल्क. देयर इज नो nothing for you to stop breastfeeding, no indication per se.
सोशल मीडिया पे काफ़ी हाफ बेक इन्फॉर्मेशन होती है जिसकी वजह से पेरेंट्स जो है वो बेटर करना जा रहे होते हैं और ख़राब हो जाते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
जैसे अभी पीछे एक रील चल रही थी जिसके अंदर गार्लिक के आप क्लोव्स के छोटे छोटे पीस करके बच्चे के पैर में लगा दो तो उसके जो चेस्ट कंजेशन है या फिर जुकाम है वो ठीक हो जाएगा, और उसके ऊपर सॉक्स पहना दो. तो वो अभी मेरे नोन में एक ने किया तो पैर उस बच्चे के छिल गए, स्किन पील ऑफ हो गई, वो तो छाले पड़ गए। तो एंड प्लस हमारे जो दादी नानी के नुस्खे हैं कि दूध और ब्रेड से बच्चे की मसाज करो तो वो गोरा होता है, या फिर बादाम घिस के लगा दो तो वो गोरा हो जाता है, आंखों में काजल लगा दो। मैं तो ये भी काफ़ी अभी सुना है सोशल मीडिया पे कि काजल लगाना नहीं चाहिए आंखों पे, इट्स बैड फॉर द बेबीज। तो ऐसी मैं चीज़ें पूछ रहा था कि जो लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं।
So you have picked a good point. So definitely a kajal is a big no-no. You should never ever apply all these synthetic things, and I'll come to it later. The other thing is people use these astringent oils, like you said, garlic को तेल में करके लगा दिया, सरसों का कच्चा तेल लगा दिया बच्चे को। So ये सब जो चीजें होती हैं, they have, so they are all derived from plants. They have certain astringent properties, which are very very strong for the baby's skin.
Okay.
So for massage, we usually recommend coconut oil. It's the safest option. It's the mildest of the mildest fat. And the good thing about coconut oil is because it's a medium chain triglyceride, it is absorbed in the body and it contributes in having a good fat, subcutaneous fat, and increase in the weight also. तो प्रीटर्म बच्चों के लिए हम स्पेसिफिकली यूज करते हैं।
बच्चों के लिए मसाज इम्पोर्टेंट होती है ना?
बिल्कुल इम्पोर्टेंट होती है, बट नॉट दैट कसरत वाली जो जापा मेड एकदम से जोर जोर से
गर्दन
करती
से
है।
उठा के
नहीं, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज एब्सोल्युटली नॉट रेकमेंडेड एनीवेयर। You do light massages, you do some active movements of the joints, and that also starts gradually. एकदम newborn baby को ये सब आप जोड़ के नहीं रख सकते. It's rather dangerous for the developing baby.
Okay.
So you do very हल्के हाथ से massage in the first few months. Maybe after 3 months when you see the baby जो बच्चा actively हाथ पैर जब चलाने लग जाता है धीरे धीरे, this is a cue that you need to start massaging a little more vigorously with active movements. That's about it, but not like those crazy things which you see on social media and the old ways where it was like totally vigorous. I mean, that's rather dangerous.
किन केसेस में आप एडवाइस करते हो कि बच्चों को मतलब तुरंत ही ले आना चाहिए पीडियाट्रिशियन के चेकअप के लिए? मतलब क्या साइंस होते हैं ऐसे?
So see, if your baby stops feeding, if your baby becomes suddenly lethargic or dull, stops responding to you, or like vomiting everything, not able to keep the milk inside, or is showing signs of convulsions or seizures, fisting हो रही है, you feel the movements are abnormal, these are the sure danger signs when you should take the baby immediately to a hospital.
Okay.
Immediately. But of course वहाँ तक नहीं पहुँचते. आजकल पेरेंट्स बहुत अवेयर हैं, they are sort of rather cautious of minute changes in their baby's behaviors.
और बेबी के लिए स्किन केयर प्रोडक्ट्स और लोशंस आप कौन से रिकमेंड करते हो?
कोई भी नहीं.
कोई भी नहीं. तो जो न्यूबॉर्न बेबी है वो उसकी
see, I don't know, but I mean people have read and there's a lot of news about it. So most of the products which we have currently in the market, whether it's for babies, for children, for adults, it has got all kinds of these endocrine inhibitors or disruptors. Phthalates हैं, BPA है, कुछ अलग तरह के chemicals होते हैं, which regulate estrogen, testosterone in the bodies. So anything which has got fragrance in a product is a strict no-no for all infants, all babies, all children up to the age of 18 years. So all these things are all endocrine disruptors. They disrupt the HP axis of the body. मतलब जैसे कि जो आपके नॉर्मली हार्मोन सिक्रीट होने चाहिए 13-14 साल में, वो 8-9 साल में सिक्रीट होना शुरू हो जाएंगे, 7 साल में, and it is called precocious puberty, which is seen. Similarly, when you give these things to the babies, उनके भी HP axis will get haywire, and you will see strange things with the babies. You would, your babies, their growth may become hampered. वो उस वक्त नहीं पता चलेगा, but when they reach 6-7 years, you will find, because prolonged contact. अब जो baby wipes है, for example, सब everyone is crazy about baby wipes.
Everyone has,
yes. And everyone is crazy about baby wipes.
Yes.
It's the most harmful thing. The most harmful thing to do to a baby is to use those fragrance wala baby wipes. If you want to wipe the butt of the baby, just go to a tap and wash it off.
And ma'am, what about diapers?
Diapers are, again, there's a mixed views about diapers. If I may say, when you talk about the utilitarian aspect, it's very good because बच्चे को ठंड से बचाता है, and again you don't expose, especially in the cold environments.
तो पेरेंट्स का भी काम थोड़ा कम हो जाता है.
नहीं, कम तो नहीं. See, that's what I'm saying. अब वहाँ ही मैं आ रही हूँ. कम नहीं होता. See, it is just that if you have a diaper, the baby will pee or poop in it. But that doesn't mean you don't change it periodically. You can't leave the baby in the pee or the poop for 2-3 hours at a stretch. Change आपको फिर भी करना चाहिए. That is a recommendation. Because you can't keep the baby in a soggy diaper, right? It's not a good habit. It will lead to infections, multiple things. तो utilitarian aspect ये है कि हाँ, you don't have multiple laundry, you don't have too many clothes to wash, but at the same time, not everyone can afford diapers. अब diapers are convenient, so even the poor people would want to take it. पर उनके साथ क्या है, वो लाएंगे 4. तो फिर वो बच्चे को 4-4, 6-6 घंटे पहना के रखते हैं. So there it is harmful. Where you can change it after every pee or a poop episode, it's good. You can use it, no harm done. And the other thing is diapers में fragrance नहीं होती है. You have to just be sure the diapers you use should be fragrance free.
Okay. Because some diapers are with fragrance also.
Yes. Some are. So all products for babies, they all should be fragrance free. The best is you use coconut oil or almond oil. That is the best oil to be used for babies.
Almond oil in winters because
No,
it's
even in summers, no problem.
in summer also.
Coconut oil and almond oil best for the babies. No other cosmetics, no other creams, nothing is required. कुछ नहीं होता. In fact, वो जो basic सा आपका साबुन आता है ना, ये glycerin वाला Pears, it's the best soap for babies because उसमें सिर्फ glycerin होती है.
But उसमें भी थोड़ी बहुत तो fragrance होती है.
जो original वाला होता है ना, उसमें कुछ नहीं, उसमें साबुन की खुशबू होती है.
अच्छा.
वो साबुन की ही वो smell है. उसमें actually कुछ additionally नहीं डाला होता.
Okay.
Aloe vera based products are still better, I would say, as compared to other, because aloe vera इससे इतना side effects देखा नहीं गया है. Fragrance नहीं होनी चाहिए, because if there is a fragrance, that means there is something wrong with the product.
Okay. मैम आप कौन से what kind of tests do you recommend the parents for deficiencies?
No tests actually.
And signs क्या होते हैं deficiencies के
See,
अगर?
usually if you follow the national guidelines, the national guidelines say you need to give your babies vitamin D right from birth up to 2 years of age. 400 international units रोज देनी है आपको. तो वो एक general norm है, क्योंकि recommendation है every baby at the time of discharge after birth is prescribed.
Okay.
Then there are these preterm babies or babies who have very low birth weight. So because अब वो समय से पहले हो गए हैं, उनके reserves कम हैं, तो उनको हम between 4 to 6 weeks we prescribe additional iron and additional calcium. And then after 6 months, again as a part of the anemia mukt abhiyan which is there in the country, all children are supposed to have iron.
Okay.
After 6 months.
Okay.
Balanced diet for the mother in the first 6 months so that she produces good nutritious breast milk. अगर ब्रेस्ट मिल्क अच्छा है तो वैसे ही कोई उसको वो नहीं होगी डेफिशिएंसी बच्चे को. और 6 महीने के बाद आप अपने बच्चे का कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फीडिंग अगर बेस्ड ऑन द रिकमेंडेशन स्टार्ट करते हो तो भी कुछ नहीं होएगा. So it's all based on the advice. If you follow the right advice, you wouldn't need these additional extra supplements or medicines or interventions to improve or correct the problems in the child.
मैम बच्चा पैदा होने के कुछ टाइम बाद जब वुमेन अपनी लाइफस्टाइल में कैसे वापस आए, क्योंकि बॉडी के अंदर बहुत सारे हार्मोनल चेंजेस होते हैं. यू टेंड टू पुट अप अ लॉट ऑफ वेट. सो इफ यू वांट टू रिटर्न टू योर वर्क लाइफ एंड एक्सरसाइज, तो कितने टाइम बाद आफ्टर द बर्थ ऑफ द बेबी यू रिकमेंड कि वर्कआउट स्टार्ट कर दो नॉर्मल लाइफस्टाइल में?
Okay, see, when you give birth to a baby, there are studies and there is evidence that it takes on an average 2 years for the mother's body to come back to its original, not shape, situation. Whether it is metabolically, whether it is physically, whether it is mentally, So it takes 2 years almost.
Okay.
And the first 6 months are the most important ones because पहले 6 महीने आपको ब्रेस्ट फीड कराना है, राइट? रिकमेंडेशंस भी बेस्ड ऑन सम साइंटिफिक रैशनल बनी है कि 6 मंथ्स ही क्यों ब्रेस्ट फीड कराना है. जो मैटरनिटी लीव की हम बात करें, अगर हम लेजिस्लेशंस पे जाएं तो भी फर्स्ट 6 मंथ्स के लिए ही है. तो दे आर ऑल्सो बेस्ड ऑन अ रैशनल दैट फर्स्ट 6 months it's advisable for the mother to not do anything at all, just focus on herself and the baby in terms of health. You eat good nutritious balanced diet, you do moderate exercise, you do yoga, meditation, and you just feed the baby. That is about it. You don't have to think about anything else. But at the same time, there are some situations for some people, unfortunately, who have to resume work or who have to go and do something. So in those situations also we advise कि आप express करो milk और अपना express breast milk पिलाओ, because breastfeeding is alone an activity which burns a lot of calories. So you don't need additional exercises if you are exclusively breastfeeding or exclusively pumping. You don't need additional exercises except mild yoga and deep breathing. उसके अलावा you don't actually need any additional, because it's a very, I don't know, but if you talk to a mother who is breastfeeding, she will say, I feel hungry like crazy every 2 hours when I feed the baby. I'm hungry because it drains your body. So इतनी उसमें एनर्जी जाती है एक लेडी की या एक मदर की कि उसको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा हेवी वर्कआउट करने की ज़रूरत एक्चुअली नहीं होती है फर्स्ट 6 months में. But when you start the top feeding after 6 months, then gradually you can shift to your regular routine of exercise. And obviously, 30 minutes a day exercise is always good for anybody, and you gradually increase it. But if you say you can snap out of your, pregnancy body and you reach, no one is Alia Bhatt. You have to be realistic, right? No one is Alia Bhatt. They are only 0.5% of the actual population. So we should not try and compare ourselves with those people, because they have a different lifestyle. We all cannot have that lifestyle.
Celebrities तो मतलब वही pregnancy के 3 months बाद ही एकदम.
Because they don't breastfeed their babies. They'll pump for a few days. They won't breastfeed because they have their diets to go to. They have their commitments and their projects, and they have to look slim. It's a part of their job. So my only advice is to please not compare yourself with the Alia Bhatts and the other ladies who are there. Just focus on your baby and yourself. Unless and until you are in that profession, of course. Because you cannot snap out of that. It takes 2 years to shed all your gestational weight gain, which has happened over those 9 months. Takes time. If you go slow, you are there.
Ma'am, 6 months तक you say that breast milk is important. After that, should you start giving solids to the kids?
Absolutely.
Solids में salt, sugar, water, ये सब.
You can start water. You can start fruit purees. You can start rice. You can start dal, light dals. Like जो heavy नहीं होती, like not चना, छोला, राजमा, but the मूंग दाल, छिलका दाल, and rice का खिचड़ी, and mashed potato, all kinds of vegetables all mashed and made into a soup.
Okay.
So you start with liquid
Waste.
preparations, all liquid preparations, but not चावल का पानी and दाल का पानी, because it has got no nutritive value. It is just पानी.
Okay.
So better to give us दाल चावल का खिचड़ी, which is patla patla. So all the foods you can start, you can just start with the liquid preparations.
Okay.
Plus these mashed bananas, all kinds of mashed fruits, steamed apples, mashed potatoes, like I said. So all these foods can be given to the baby.
And then salt and sugar?
Salt and sugar usually, अगर आप मिल्क बेस्ड दोगे तो उसमें चीनी अपने आप से होती है. अगर आप सब्जी या कुछ दोगे उसमें भी अपने आप से उसका, see every vegetable or every fruit you give has its own taste.
Yes.
So you don't really need to add. If you give aloo and gajar ka mixture, it will be sweet because carrots are sweet. So you don't need to add any flavor.
Fruits में fructose होता है natural.
Fruits में there is a lot of flavor, so you don't have to give anything. So usually why expose the children to salt and sugar unnecessarily is what I mean. So by the time they are 9 months, you can start little course. थोड़ा liquid से आप थोड़ा उसको semi solid पे आओगे, course हो जाएगा. So you can give a small chomp तो आप उसमें हल्का हींग डाल सकते हो, जीरा पाउडर डाल सकते
आफ्टर 9 months.
हो आफ्टर 9 months.
Okay.
But ghee you can start right after 6 months because ghee is very very good for the children. Really really good, and it's the best medicine for even the mothers and the children. I think everybody. So ghee you can start right at 6 months. That if you're making soup, maybe a bowl of soup, you add a teaspoon of ghee. So that gives the baby instant calories, and that is the time when the baby needs calories because आपके breast milk में इतनी nutrition नहीं रह जाएगी जो बच्चे के growing age को sustain कर सके. So you have to complement it with something, and that is why it is called complementary feeding.
Okay. मिल्क जैसे 6 months के बाद हम काऊ मिल्क या बफेलो मिल्क दे सकते हैं.
So it is recommended after 6 months to continue breastfeeding and give whatever milk is there in the household.
Okay.
Usually घरों में होता है ना ये pasteurized milk आप ले आते हो, इसमें आप दो, लेकिन we don't recommend only milk to the children ever. अगर आपको दूध देना तो like I said milk based. It should be a kheer, you know, it should be a porridge like rice kheer, rice porridge,
Okay.
apple porridge, banana porridge. Never only milk.
Okay.
Because only milk has got no nutritive value. वो तो बच्चा breast से ले ही रहा है ना. You're not adding any calories to it. Now you have to add something to it. So your food should always be semi-solid based on milk, not only milk, because milk is already being consumed. And this is a fad I think in India कि दूध पिलाओ बच्चों को, दूध पिलाओ, दूध पिलाओ, दूध पिलाओ. No.
Ma'am, out of cow milk and buffalo milk, which is better?
Which is better in terms of digestibility? Cow's milk is better
Okay.
because buffalo milk is heavier in fat. So in terms of digestibility, cow's milk is better for children.
Okay.
But usually children have allergies and all also, so you have to be careful what you're giving to the children. Again, and it depends from an individual to individual.
Ma'am, after the age of 9 months to 1 year, during this age, children start to become picky eaters. So balanced diet कैसे उनके schedule में आप inculcate कर सकते हो? क्या आप
जो आप घर में खाते हो, you have to remember your children will eat that. If you show them chips, they will eat chips. If you show them bhujia, they will eat bhujia. If you show them fruity, they will drink fruity. So whatever you show them, whatever you practice in front of children, they will mimic you. तो अगर आप घर में रोटी सब्जी दाल चावल खा रहे हो तो वही मैश करके खिलाओ. Nothing special. Additionally, जो दो स्नैक्स होती हैं जिसे हम कहते हैं, एक हमारा मॉर्निंग ब्रेकफास्ट और लंच के बीच का टाइम और लंच और डिनर के बीच का टाइम, दोज आर द 2 time points when you want to give them some kind of finger foods. So something which they can, you know, do like this. You can give them carrots, you can give them apple के pieces, you know, you can give them a little soft French fry type कुछ बना के आप दे सकते हो उनको. So what they can pick up and eat like this. It could even be easily be roti ka tukda also. It's not that it has to be fancy. It can be roti ka tukda also. It can be chawal ka dana also. You know, spread in a bowl and they'll do like this. Because all this eating is also in a way promoting their neurodevelopment, their motor skills, their sensory skills, balancing the the motor and the sensory skills के उठाना और मुंह में डालना. This is something which is a practice for the children. So you are in a way stimulating the baby, if I may say, in a way to do things other than just crying, you know, and playing. So you are making the baby independent. Again, this is a part of responsive feeding. The baby knows when to stop. मेरा पेट भर गया, मुझे अब नहीं खाना. In contrast to children who are जैसे माँ पकड़ के बैठी है, देखा है कभी से माँ से पकड़ लेती है और फिर जोर जोर से उसके अंदर से ठूस ठूस के खाना खिलाती है.
बट अगर वो मान नहीं रहा, अगर वो पिकी ईटर है,
just leave the child. Because that's what I think. Children will mimic you. Whatever you do, they will mimic you. You sit with your plate in front of the baby. दो एक दिन नहीं खाएगा, 2-3 दिन कहेगा मेरी भी प्लेट दो. This is what I'm saying. And these habits are all brought in place in that period of 6 months to 1 year. और उस टाइम पे क्या करती है मदर्स, बिकॉज उन्हें नई नई आज़ादी मिली होती है ना वो ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग से, उन्हें लगता है वी आर फ्री. वो बॉटल पिलाई और अपना छोड़ दिया, बॉटल पिलाई और छोड़ दिया. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज टिल 12 months वो अपने टॉप फीड बॉटल पे होते हैं वो बच्चे. उन फिर 1 साल के बाद उन्हें खाने ही नहीं, उन्हें चबाने ही नहीं आता. फिर वो कहते हैं ये तो मुंह में रख लेता है खाना. So this is another topic altogether, complementary feeding.
तो मैम बेसिकली स्ट्रिक्ट और लीनियंट पेरेंटिंग के बीच में एक स्मार्ट पेरेंटिंग होनी चाहिए
Exactly.
कि स्ट्रिक्ट भी नहीं होना चाहिए और ज़्यादा लीनियंट भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि बच्चे के सारे विल्स और विम्स आप मान रहे हो.
But this comes at a very later stage.
Hmm.
See, for the first 5-6 years, you have to create a secure environment for your child. So you can't be strict. You have
5
to be
years.
smart. Yes. You can't be strict. You have to be only smart.
बट यू हैव टू सेट सर्टेन रूल्स एंड
So वो
बाउंड्रीज.
rules ऐसे नहीं होते कि ये rule है, मैंने बोला ये खाना है तो ये खाना नहीं तो चटा है.
हाँ.
That's not how things are done.
Hmm.
You have to be smart. That's what I'm saying. You sit with the bacha because see, children inherently are monkeys.
Hmm.
They will mimic everyone in the house. If someone is smoking and if the child is seeing that person smoking in the house, 2 दिन बाद उसे कहीं पे भी सिगरेट मिलेगी ना वो ऐसे ही करेगा क्योंकि उसको पता है ये ऐसे ही करते हैं. बच्चे सीख के तो नहीं आते ना कुछ भी. So they are looking in the surroundings and they're going to mimic. If you have a small child and you keep kicking a dog every time you go out, a stray dog, जब उसको हिम्मत आएगी वो भी वही करेगा. बाहर जाएगा उसको किक मारेगा because उसने वही देखा है. So it's not disciplining. So in a way you have to, babies mirror the parents or the people in the family. So you have to make sure the baby is mirroring the right things. So for that you have to do the right thing. If you are eating junk food, don't expect your baby to have healthy diets. अगर रोज आप बर्गर खा रहे हो, आप खुद तो बर्गर खा रहे हो और उसके सामने खिचड़ी रखती है, why would you think the baby is going to have that? And these habits start very early in life. If you think at 2 years I'm going to start inculcating that, too late. Too late. अब नहीं हो सकता कुछ.
2 years से मतलब जब राइट फ्रॉम द बर्थ आपको, क्योंकि इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बिल्ड रूटीन्स.
Yes.
तो क्या मतलब ऐसे पेरेंट्स के प्रैक्टिकल एडवाइस आप देना चाहोगे कि जो डिसिप्लिन और रूटीन आप स्टार्टिंग से ही बच्चे के अंदर बिल्डअप कर दो?
See, for the first 6-7 months, the children don't know anything.
हम्म.
They only need security, right? So there is one practice which I find very strange these days, which is a Western concept that you alienate your child. उसका बेड अलग कर दिया, crib अलग कर दिया, वो अकेले सोएगा, सेल्फ सूद करना है. So this is very detrimental to the child's mental health. The child will invariably have anxiety when the child grows up. Youngest, मतलब मैं बता रही हूँ 2 साल में anxiety, 3 साल में anxiety show करने लगता है. See, you have a baby, you have created a baby, right? The baby has come into a world brand new, doesn't know anything. So you imagine yourself being put on a planet where there is no one. You only knew one person, and that one person is with you. And now that one person is saying, you sit in this corner and you dare not come to me. You cry, do whatever, you sleep yourself. How would you feel? You will have trust issues like crazy. You know, the one person who you felt was reliable and your secure blanket. You know, so that early on, that child starts having trust issues. That, you know, I can't even rely on my mother to soothe me just because it is a fad. So the baby needs to be close to the mother as much as possible to develop that sense of security, that sense of trust, so that when the baby is old enough, the baby can come to you with every problem because the baby can trust you. That is how, you know, these trust systems are built in the children.
तो इसमें फिर इसी से डिसिप्लिन और रूटीन बिल्डअप होता है.
इसी से होता है because you know when the mother is sleeping, you tell her now it's sleep time, go to sleep. उसी बेड पे करो सेल्फ सूद, उसको देखेगा तो कि भैया मम्मी सो रही है, पापा सो रहे हैं, सब सो रहे हैं, मैं भी सो जाता हूँ. You understand? You have to explain the child why the child needs to sleep because it's sleep time. Not that the child will feel कि मेरे को तो इन्होंने ऐसे ostracize करके ही अलग कमरे में डाल दिया. What am I doing wrong? You know, so it is not the right practice for babies. All these things come at a later stage, 5-6 years, when the child is potty trained, when the child knows, okay, this is my room, and the child willfully wants to do these things. You can't force the children. Discipline cannot be forced on such young babies who have no clue what is happening around them.
ऐसे में मैम पेरेंट्स अपनी मेंटल हेल्थ का कैसे ख्याल रखें? बिकॉज बच्चों की वजह से आजकल जो यंग पेरेंट्स हैं वो एग्जैक्टली समझते नहीं है कि बच्चे की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या होती है. आई एम ऑल्सो वेरी यंग टू से टॉक अबाउट दीज थिंग्स, लेकिन उससे उनकी मेंटल हेल्थ भी बहुत डिस्टर्ब होती है.
See, it's difficult to put this in words. I was a very young parent myself. I had my daughter when I was 26.
Hmm.
That time people thought it's the right age, but now I feel it is not. You know, even being a doctor, I made many mistakes. Even being a pediatrician, I made many mistakes.
Hmm.
So when you decide to have a child, you have to be on board that this child is our responsibility. No one else's. No dada and nana and nani are going to come and babysit for you. First of all, this is your responsibility. You need to do it. If you have to wake up at night, you have to. If you have to go to work, still you will have to do all those things. This, realization is important. And lifestyles from each house, the lifestyle is different. हर घर का एक अपना कल्चर है. पहले तो कम्युनिटी होती थी या एक रिलीजन होता था या गांव होता था. अब तो हर घर में एक अलग कल्चर है. किसी के कोई टाइमिंग्स हैं, किसी के कोई टाइमिंग्स हैं, कोई कुछ काम करता है. मोस्टली न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज हैं. So when you decide to have a baby, first of all, both the parents are supposed to be on board. This is our responsibility. We have to do all this work, and it is a lot of hard work, and it is painful. And they need to have that realization. अगर आपने वो ठान लिया है ना कि हमें ये सब कुछ तो करना है, तो आधा तो बैटल इज वन. पेरेंट्स की मेंटल हेल्थ अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगी if A, they support each other, B, they have a good support system in the house, but they shouldn't rely on that all the time, and C, they realize that the baby or the child is our responsibility and we are only have to do everything about this child, and no one else is responsible. That sense has to be there. I think most of the problems are sorted then.
So I want to discuss that at a family level or a home level, what kind of environment should be provided to a child till the age of 3, or we can say preschool age.
So I think when we talk about the environment, we can break it up into first 6 months and then 6 months to 3 years. So when I talk about the first 6 months, first is the nutritional requirement of the baby. So the first 6 months, as we've discussed earlier, is the nutritional requirements for most of the babies is covered by the breastfeeding. So if a mother is exclusively breastfeeding her baby right from the birth till 6 months, nothing can really go wrong with respect to the health of the baby. Because if you don't give the baby anything else, there is no chance of introducing an infection in the body, right? So I think that's the foremost thing which sort of lays down the groundwork for even the future health of the the baby. Like, and when I talk about future health, I mean adulthood. So if the baby's nutritional groundwork is solid, that is exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months, not given anything else, I think that lays a solid foundation for a healthy adult life.
You told that it is kind of a first vaccine a child gets.
Yeah, so it's the first vaccine, and also because of the the miracle that the milk evolves with the requirement of the baby. So from that angle, if we see, the baby does demand feeding. Whenever the baby needs milk, the baby will give the mother signal or cues or cries that I'm hungry, and the mother feeds the baby. So in a way, it not only in a crude sense fills the stomach of the baby, but also makes the baby understand a very basic thing, that what is hunger, when the baby is satisfied, when to stop feeding. And these things are very important when you sort of grow, because we've seen that infants who are bottle fed, they don't know where to stop. So they inherently tend to feed more amounts, more frequently, for a longer duration, and usually it's there, the evidence is there that chances of cardiometabolic outcomes are more in such infants in the adult life. So that is the most important thing, that you lay the groundwork in the right manner. The baby recognizes the father or whoever is there in the household. Next, because the baby identifies by the smell, by her touch, because the baby has been with the mother for 9 months before also, right? So to ensure that we don't break that continuum, mother's mental and physical health is of utmost importance, because the mother is going through a lot of things right from pregnancy. The hormones are doing one thing, the body is from childbirth is healing and recovering. So during the first 6 months, it's also very important for the family to support the new mother, and especially if she's a first time mother. Because if the mother is not supported, her health deteriorates, it will impact the baby's health eventually. It's under the same headings, like really it's the nutritional and the, you know, the family environment. So again, when we talk about nutritional, we have to start the complementary feeding at 6 months, not before, not after. And these are the things which are again building a foundation for the eating habits in the childhood. Because children who are only given bottled milk or milk in this formative time, they tend to become picky eaters. The other thing is a stimulating environment for the child. This is very, very important, especially in today's age and time where there are so many distractions for the children. There are gadgets, you know, there are tablets and there are cartoons and these big, big screens in every house, and so much of light and color and stimulation. So all these negatively impact the children. You must have noticed that, at least I have noticed, wherever I go in any restaurant, there is a small child, the child is usually sitting with a camera, a phone or a tablet, and then the child eats.
He does not eat, otherwise he
Yeah.
starts crying, and how it is detrimental to
Yes,
the
so
child.
most of the family mothers complain that without the screen the child does not eat. Now my question is, who has introduced the screen? It's the family, you know. You have introduced the screen to your child, so the child is now addicted. So looking at the screen is like an addiction for the child's brain, because there is, you know, a big upload of all of that color and sensations and bright pictures and loud noises. So that is an addiction for the brain. So what I feel is that children should not be given any gadgets till at least 3 years of age. And even if you have to, because it is not it is not sort of avoidable in today's age and time, you know, someone or the other TV खुला ही होगा घर में, कोई ना कोई तो देख ही रहा होगा, you know, things like that. So you need to limit it to a maximum of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, at the max 20 minutes in 24 hours. Because that is detrimental to a child's brain development. Because that brain development happens, 90% is finished by the child is 3 years. So whatever you're feeding to the child in the first 3 years of his life or her life, उसकी ही आपको आगे मूवी देखने को मिलेगी 3 साल के बाद, till the rest of the life.
इस पे हल्का सा मैं और फोकस करना चाहूँगा कि गैजेट्स कैसे और डेट्रीमेंटल होते हैं ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट में, और फिर उन बच्चों को जो आजकल हम देख रहे हैं कि बच्चे जो हैं वो उनको लर्निंग एबिलिटी में प्रॉब्लम होती है, उनकी कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स थोड़ी कम होती हैं. सो हाउ आर देयर, मतलब इन सब चीज़ों का इम्पैक्ट गैजेट्स की वजह से भी होता है?
हाँ, absolutely. So all these, you know, issues like there is autistic spectrum disorder, then there is ADHDs. So all of these, and you are right in saying maybe they are diagnosed more today, and also there could be a rise in such kind of cases, and it is definitely you know, as a consequence of excessive use of screens and gadgets and video games. Because as I said, it is an addiction for the child. So once a child is addicted to a screen does not help the child in speak, in learn, in write, or use the brain. You just shut down your brain and you look at a screen. So it's the most easiest thing to do, and the brain is not stimulated. So that is why all these, you know, difficulties are apparent then when the children go to school. So gadgets are definitely detrimental and could be a contributing factor to all these behavioral disorders in early childhood.
So ma'am, I would like to ask, till what age the role of pediatrician is very important, and how often should parents visit a pediatrician after the birth of their child?
So no, ideally pediatric age group is from birth till 18 years. So that's the age you can see a pediatrician. See, in olden days people used to only come to a doctor when they were not well, right? But nowadays things have changed a lot because of social media and also more education. People are aware. So what I personally feel is, if a parent is, you know, having second thoughts about the health of their child, or if they feel they need guidance regarding their child, they can sort of visit the pediatrician as many times as it is important for them, because I feel the parents are the best guide to a child's health. Whatever the parents have noticed must come from somewhere, right? Because the pediatrician can only see a child once. The parent live with the child 24/7. So as much as they want, they can take the help of the pediatrician, because pediatricians nowadays are not just doctors to sort of, you know, correct the diseases or to give treatment, also to kind of maneuver the parents around this, you know, child's health, because there are many things which are changing. Like for example, this gadget scenario is there. Also, there are many parents who come to me. What is the, you know, appropriate time for physical play for a child? Because parents nowadays, parents are working, the kids are either in the daycare or at home with the grandparents or with the nannies. They don't go out. Who's going to take them out? घर में कितना खेलते हैं? Everyone gives them a gadget.
गैजेट की वजह से
Right.
फिजिकल एक्टिविटी भी एकदम
Yeah,
कम
and
हो गई।
if the child is not, you know, given age appropriate physical activity, especially outdoor physical activity, which is most important for even for your cognitive development, that also impacts the child's health. So for all these issues, because these are all, you know, sort of cultural issues, these are not really medical issues. So these are all man-made issues because of the changing society, the changing expectations, the changes in the gender roles. So all these issues, I think, they do impact the child's health, and for these, I think that the pediatrician can play a very, very important role, not just as a provider of treatment, but also as a guide to kind of maneuver through these new age problems which the parents sort of have.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this informational podcast, and I'm sure that young parents who are starting out this journey get to learn a lot from it. And thank you very much for taking out your time and having this conversation with me. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurang. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, ma'am.